Having a poodle and living on a farm, well, need I say any more? Constant 24-hour grooming. That's become a horrible word now, eh? Just the word itself is horrible. So many groomers out there. Well, the world is becoming crazy anyway, guys. The world is becoming madness, as you all know. A few years ago, I spoke about CERN and the opening of worlds within worlds, and how darkness, strange things, is basically a telegram to what they were doing. They have to put it out there. I know people think this is crazy. It's not crazy at all. It's actually very real. And when they started messing about with that, you could see clearly that things were starting to go very wrong in the world. And hey, we just live in crazy times now. Crazy times is normal times. Why is that? Well, there's a lot of stuff going on, guys, behind the veil, which if you can feel it and you can sometimes see the energy, you can see that there's a lot of attachments now, more and more. I see it more and more every day. And I think one of the major reasons wasn't the spiky proteins that I was scared of and didn't want to pick up on. I think it was more to do with what was attached to people because of the spiky proteins, and not just that, just everybody in general, even the ones who haven't, the world has changed dramatically. Everything has become so judgmental. Everybody hates more than ever. The world is seemingly filled with judgment. Anger, hate is so infectious now. It's become the new norm. It's hard to actually predict anything these days because it's so crazy. The world has become so inverted, back to front. Grooming seems to be the new normal. Grooming seems to be, child grooming seems to be love. They're trying to make that as love now. Oh, no. Grooming, no. We love our children. Child mutilation is beautiful, apparently. It is good, is positive. And you can clearly see that love has become hate and hate has become love. Evil has become love and love has become evil. And everything is back to front, inside out, the wrong way around. Everything. So approaching any person these days is good luck with that one. And I think that's why a lot of us are keeping well away from people these days, because we don't know what's attached to them. And, this kind of field of work of attachments and dark energy and whatever you want to call it, demonic or whatever, it's a real world. It exists. And if you've spent the amount of time I have with clients who have had attachments and that I've had attachments, we can all have attachments. We can all have those moments of psychic emergencies and so on. It's real. It's all real. It's just, it's very, very difficult to understand it if you can't see it. But, it's an interesting subject. So I made a video 2 days ago. Was it yesterday? 2 days? I don't know. But the video was about trees. And the only reason why I made it is because I wanted to show people that when you start from the beginning, I didn't realize that trees had souls. I had no idea that Mother Earth was a living spirit. I didn't realize that there are spirit within your gardens and forests, and I didn't realize that there were such things as garden spirits or forest spirits, or I didn't really understand any of those things until I started the field of work of spirituality And one of the first things the shaman told me is to sit by the tree. And I wasn't told why per se, and I did. Never really thought about it. And for some reason, I ended up having worked alongside, this guy, and then coming back again and working at home and working for clients and going wherever it was, Ibiza, Holland, Belgium, wherever I went, I'd come back and found myself walking the dogs and stopping at this tree. And this tree was basically an olive tree. And I'd just sit in between its big roots, and it was on a main road. And you can see how important this tree was, because they built around the tree on the pavement. So I'd sit by this tree and just either take notes, write things down, sit there and just I don't know, sit with my two doggies used to sit very happily. Daisy and Dennis used to sit down and be happy there. So we'd sit there for a while, and I told the story about one day when I was, without even realizing, something was happening on a level that I didn't see. A friend of mine called me up and she said, "How are you?" I said, "I'm a bit exhausted, to be honest. I've worked all day today and I'm exhausted." She says, "Well, my dear, you need to find yourself a tree." And like, what do you mean? And then she explained how many shamans, when they become healers, one of the things they do is they make an agreement with a tree. And the tree will absorb their negative energy from their work. And sometimes, she said, the trees may die, but that's the agreement between you and the tree. Now, I was sat on a tree at the time. And I said, "Oh, I found my tree. I'm on it." She says, "Well then, that's beautiful. This is the natural process, which is, organic, beautiful. Didn't even realize it." But now I'm 54, 55 years old. I don't know exactly. And I come to understand how important that moment was, and how deep that was in so many ways. It wasn't that I found a tree. It's that there was a bond between the spirit of the tree, the soul of the tree, that invited me to sit. And without even acknowledging that at the time, without even seeing it, there was a process happening. And that process was the tree was absorbing my negative energy from the work that I'd done to help people that day. So without even understanding this, I believe that some trees, maybe not all, but some trees do have souls. There may be an argument that certain trees are, in fact, grown for certain reasons. So take, for instance, I come back as a human being who has been privileged to live in a house all my life. Maybe not, king and queen privilege, but privilege to be able to eat every day. Unlike some who come back into a body that lives in India and that has no home, lives under tarpaulin and begs for rice. We choose to come back into the body that we come back into. But there's a reason why we come back into those bodies, to experience what we experience. And there's two different sides of the coin here. The one experience is what somebody gives you, and the other experience what you receive. So if you imagine the tree comes back as a tree to live till the moment it's being cut down for, let's say, firewood, or for IKEA furniture, or to make a boat in the Amazon for the local tribesmen, I kind of see it this way. I think there are certain trees that are not meant to be cut down. That are wise souls that are meant to stay in that place. And there are places where the agreement between a tree and the tree spirit and that tree being cut down and used for, say, warmth, for firewood, or for the timbers of your house or a boat. I believe all of that's relevant. I think it's very complex, but I think it's all relevant. When you, I don't eat meat anymore, but when the Native American used to hunt, they hunted, and when they killed an animal, they used to sit and say a prayer for the spirit and say thank you, and use all the body parts for food and for warmth. When you go out and kill for pleasure, that's a different thing. When you kill a tree for pure greed, that's a different thing. So being conscious as well is a separate thing as well. Being conscious to what you buy and where you buy it from is something important, but that goes into a different realm of understanding. And I don't think that's that's more, I guess, hypocritical, but doesn't have that as much effect as I'm going to cut that tree down because I don't like it where it is, and I want to move it because I want to build something there, instead of taking that tree out carefully and replanting it somewhere with love. You see where I'm coming? You see, the reason why I'm making part 2 is because the amount of hate messages I received last night, some messages were absolutely true. Well, should that mean that I shouldn't buy a log cabin? Or does that mean that, you know, I shouldn't buy anything in wood? No, that's literal. That's taking it literal. I didn't mean that. But it doesn't matter what I say, there's always somebody going to find judgment in my words and hate me because they hate me anyway and they hate themselves. So I make this not to justify anything, but maybe just to make some of you think about it. I have knives and forks in there made of wood. Why? Because it's natural and it's not metal. And some of the metals now from China, most of the cheap Chinese crap is radioactive and so on. So, yeah, I mean, it depends how far you go and how far you want to go. You could get knocked over by a bus tomorrow, but you look back on your life and say, well, I did my best. And you know, when I bought the figures from Bali, one of the things I asked them, especially for the huge elephant tree, the first thing he said to me is it was driftwood. And I'm like, okay, cool. And these big pieces are found. They're not cut down, they're found. And of course they are, because they don't have that much money in Bali. They're not that rich, are they? So the first 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, when I went to Bali, I saw one particular beautiful carving of Ganesh. And I ended up buying that. And then I went back again and I saw these other two that I saw many years ago. And I don't even know what I'm going to do with them, to be honest. And they've cost literally thousands and thousands to get here, as well as thousands to buy. And I don't even know where I'm going to put them, and I don't really know what to do with them. I just remember driving away from that family, that sculptor, and the 9 people who were waving goodbye with tears in their eyes because I'd drawn the money out of my account and I'd given them enough money because of this 3 years of BS that basically stopped all their money, and they had no money. And most of the villagers have no money. They were just living off rice or borrowed times. and I just give them enough money now to survive for a year. I literally, that's how they were crying, and I was crying, and I was crying because I was so happy. And I'm like, what? Why did I buy them? I didn't even need them. I don't even really want them. They're beautiful, but why did I buy them? I don't know. And even to this moment, they're in a storage, and I don't know what to do with them. They're beautiful. Where am I going to put them? They're so big. One's nearly 1 ton, and the other one's nearly half a ton. They're so big. But when you understand a story, like this that I'm sharing with you now, getting on my motorbike and literally seeing the tears because they hadn't sold anything in 3 years. And now I've just bought the biggest 2 pieces that they've ever had, and they've had for years and years. And, there's something in that. And while I was there, I helped somebody who had, 20, 30 dogs and 2 cows. And I don't know why, but I was pulled to meet him and, and pay, because I've been successful in Bajerski.com, and I want to give back. I want to do good in this world. And I don't know why I met him, and Tom, lovely guy, and he's the guy who I bought the sculpture off the first one. And I said, now I know why I'm here. Let's go. And, sure, we went to the vets, and I paid the vet bill, and I paid the 6 months or years supply that they had tabs on. They had no money, and I paid for that. And then I said, how much will 6 months supply of dog food for all of them be? And they told me, and I paid for it. All the money that I had, I paid for it. I came back with nothing. I didn't tell anybody I went there. I didn't tell anybody. I just went there and came back again. You know why. And things that we had to do to travel. You understand all of this. The lies and manipulations, what they were trying to do to people. So you have to be smart, and you have to box clever, and you have to be as clever as the devious, dark evilness that controls this world. So, when you hear a backstory about what I share with you, then you can see how it changes a little bit, hey? From some of the messages that I had to take off last night, nasty messages, you're full of shit. Did you see that one? Did you see that one? There were one which was, just horrible, nasty, long message, basically saying that I'm talking out of my ass because, we have to, all about trees, you can see it. You can see how easy it is to quickly judge, and people do that now. Everybody judges, but look how they judge. Look at the majority of judging. It's never positive. It's never love. It's attack. And this is why I say we're living in a world now of evil. I'm sorry, but it's evil times. We are living in, this is, you think dark times? This is dark times. We are living in dark times. And evil is in control. I don't know whether it's going to implode, explode, whether it's going to do what it did. Many people believe that this has happened time and time again, and it starts all over again, and we come back as spirits into whatever we come back into, and we rebuild and start again. Who knows? I just know one thing, that we never die. That's one thing I know. So this lifetime to me is just one of the lifetimes that I've lived here and been here. And I believe that's so with you as well. So I don't think we can ever stop people from judging, because all you need to do is look at the past 3 years. There is so much ego filled within people, so much ego and pride, that they would rather fight you than say that they were wrong about what's happened. People, even if we're sat here now and somebody just dropped down dead, and somebody else just dropped down dead of a heart attack, and then this person was been fighting you, you say, look, they just dropped down dead. They'd probably say that's got nothing to do with what's happened to them, because they would rather fight and protect their ego than say, you know what, you might be right, mate. There might be something in this. All these people just dropping down dead. You know, there might be something in this. Oh, no, people drop down dead every day. Yeah, but babies, children, that don't make any sense, mate. So really, the conclusion to everything is that you can't make this shit up, and there's not much you can do about other people, but you can do something about yourself. You can be truthful. You can keep sharing your truth. You can keep sharing your stories. You can share what you believe is real in your heart, and what you see, you share, and you speak your truth. That's as much as we can do. And that's what I continue to do every day till my last breath. And I do it with love and truth and honesty. And I always say, the more successful I am, the more giving I become, and kind and caring in every way, shape and form. And that keeps the balance in my life from a world that we are the only creatures on this planet that has to pay to survive, pay to eat, pay to be on this planet. It's the most cruelest planet for humanity, really. I think animals have a better existence, because at least they're free to a degree, not the ones in prison, of course, in zoos. But again, that's because of man. It almost seems like man, humanity, is the cause of all destruction, of all suffering. It really is. And there's not much you can do about that, because you can't kill man, because you become as bad as man then. But what you can do is do your best and be as kind as you can, and be as caring as you can, and just be true to yourself. Anyway, guys, that's my little waffle message today. Sending you all a massive hug. Take care of yourselves. See you later. Bye for now.